Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. In the past couple weeks, everyone is starting to get their NSR Lolas. And so many people have already made really great videos about this car. John Albright has a great post on Facebook, in Home Racing World's Facebook page, talking about his tuning on this car. It's fantastic. Jim Rose released a great video talking about the NSR Lola. Great video. I'm not sure what else I can add to this, but I can tell you this car is pretty good. So guys, this is my breakdown video of the Lola. I'm just going to talk about what I did to this car to prep it for my track. Now, I'm going to have to admit to you guys, I'm struggling a little bit with tuning cars at the moment. What I think should work doesn't seem to be working. I had just a mediocre night at Cincy Slots the other night. My Revo slot did not perform well at all. The only thing I did was change the braid, and for some reason I just could not get that car to stay in the slot. It was my Porsche GT2. It's always been a really good car for me. It's got old set of tires on it. It struggled with some grip, but really it just struggled staying in the slot. And I don't know if that was the car or if it was my settings on my controller, because I used the GS controller. And I'll just be honest with you, I'm kind of all over the place right now. So I don't know if I would trust my tuning video on this Lola. I did talk about it on my live stream. I did kind of do this already, but I thought I would make this video just to go through the things that I did, and then we can discuss in the comments what everybody else has done to their car, some of the additional things that they've done. Now, listen, just so you guys know, I don't throw the kitchen sink at my cars. I know a lot of people invest a lot of money. They will buy multiple motors to try to find the best motor. They will go through a bunch of different gearing to make sure that they've got the perfect gear for the track. And I just kind of run the cars as they are. And I know that that's not the right philosophy to have, but I hate spending a bunch of extra money on a car. And so if that means that my cars are only going to be so good and they're only going to get me to a certain level, then so be it. I don't know. I didn't want this video to turn into this, but it's just kind of how I'm feeling. And I'm trying to decide if the feeling about my cars and about my tuning is I'm a little burnt out on slot cars. Maybe. I don't know. So I really got to sit down and evaluate that, I guess. But I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Does my content feel like that? Are you getting that vibe from me? Because I don't think that I am, but I just noticed that my cars just aren't as good as they were 6 months or even a year ago from a tuning standpoint. My driving is kind of plateaued, and I'm not seeing any improvement at all. I'm really not seeing faster laps or more consistent lap times or staying in the slot longer, or I don't know. So maybe I just need to take a deep breath and chalk it up to it's been a long winter. But let's dig in to the Lola. I will walk through all the things that I did to this car to get it to this point, and then we'll run some laps just to give you an idea how it runs on the track. Yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. This is the Lola. Let's take a look at the bottom first. I have not changed to the wood guide. I have a wood guide for it. I'll be honest with you. I'm really liking the stock NSR guide. The one thing I don't like about it is it just kind of snaps in. I feel like it's got a little bit of slop to it. So I think maybe going to the screw version would be an upgrade. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm not going to invest any more money in the car. I'm just going to kind of run it as it is. I have the weight in the front spot. I really think that I need to move this weight. I did upgrade to the NSR screws, and the wide head screws I used in the pod and this rear body mount, but I used the smaller head on the front, and there's a lot of float in the car. I did change it out to the black pod because I had one laying here. I have the original pod. If I didn't have one laying here, I probably wouldn't have changed to it. Andrea talked about how he felt like for plastic track, the black pod was the best. He likes to lock that down. I like a little bit of movement. I may try a piece of tape just to see if I can get some improvement on this car. I have run the motor in a little bit so I could run the gears in at the same time. So it's run about 2.5 hours at about 3.5 volts, and it seems to be okay. I think my 908 motor is a lot better. I really need to run this on a dyno or just an RPM check just to see if I've got any improvement in how it compares to my 908 motor. But I feel like my 908 motor is a little stronger than this motor. And I've heard some other people complain about they didn't feel like this round of Shark 21.5s that are showing up in the Lolas are as strong. I've heard some complaints about that. I'm just going to start putting laps on it to see if I can just get it to improve. Now, I really do like this chassis design. I did put the low profile zero grip tires on the front of this car, and I followed Andrea's instructions. If you've seen my Andrea tuning video, I did take the front axle up about as high as it'll go. It doesn't have a whole lot of slop to it. I've got some movement in my pod. As you can see, it moves pretty easy. I did take a 1/8 inch drill bit, and I went through each of the pod holes in the chassis and the body mounts. Just cleaned those holes out with that 1/8 inch drill bit, just so that I know that the screws have plenty of room to move, and that seems to really do a good job. I did run the front axle up as high as I could go and still spin smooth the grub screws, but I did not put the top grub screws in. The one thing I don't like about the NSR screws, I don't like the flathead. I'll just be honest. So let's take this apart so you can see the inside of this car. And I tighten them up, and I go about 2.5 turns out with body float, and the car seemed to react pretty well, but I still need to do some testing. I did lube with a light synthetic oil the axles and the bearings. Like always, we always talk about the baseline tuning that we do to a car before we throw it on the track. I did do all of those things to this car. The body is relatively light. The body weighs 14 grams. So it's a nice light body. How that compares to the 908, I'm not sure. Make sure you don't lose your screws. I did use the washers. I believe those are slotted washers on all of the screws in this car. And since I've got it open, I'm going to go ahead and move. I do think I liked the weight back in the chassis a little better than I did in the front. So we're going to move that. As you can see, the fronts, move this, you can see it. Fronts are not touching, but they're not far off the track. Okay. This chassis was relatively flat. It probably could have gone on a flattener. I haven't done that yet. Stock gearing. I did not change the gearing. But it is a great looking chassis. I really like it. I didn't go hollow axles with this car. I didn't do anything drastic to it. I did put Super Tire 1403s on this car, and they seem to work pretty good. I mean, I think I could get the chassis slightly lower, but it's already pretty low, like, straight out of the box. Let's put the body back on and put it back on the track and see how we do. All right, we're at the track. Lap counter. We're using fast laps to do the timing. We'll run, maybe 10 laps and see what our best times are. Move the weight to the middle to try that. Clean the tires real good. The track is a little dirty, so I just wiped it down, trying to make some improvements, but it's still not super clean. So I'm gonna shoot for under 7.3s. We'll see. Let's just get a few laps in and see where our times NSR 7.1. Here we go. That's a little better than what I was getting before. So the track's starting to clean up a little bit. 7.29. It's still loose. Wow, dang. So I still think I have some work to do with this. See, I've already dropped off 7.4s, and my tires are filthy. I mean, they're filthy. Yep. Gosh. So I don't know if this is really a fair test. Filthy, filthy track. That's better through the S's. So there's clean tires. You know, people give me a hard time about the silicones. When the track's clean, silicone tires are clean. Clean tires, I can run 7.1s. But man, as soon as I came out of the slot, tires are filthy. The car still seems a little unsettled. I'm gonna work on the pod a little bit. It's not really wanting to stay in the slot. Yeah, guys, again, not feeling very confident in my tuning at the moment. Yeah. So let's run a few more laps. See if we can get maybe 3 straight laps, decent times, get the car performing okay. Yeah, I'm losing so much time through the technical piece. It's just really not working very good. This is how I felt at Cincy Slots on Thursday. So, I mean, it could be my driving, just to be honest. 3 laps. That was better. So that was a 7.086, 6.969, 7.057, 7.078, 7.014, and a 7.27 or 7.237. So there we are, right there, hovering around the 7-second mark, which is a good lap. So there we are, some laps with the Lola. This is a good car. I still think that I've got a lot of time left in this car. I'm still missing on the tune. So I'm gonna play with the pod. I'm gonna play with the body float. I'm gonna maybe reset the front end up. I don't know. I'm gonna try some things, guys. I'm just not feeling very confident in my tuning abilities at the moment. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. Overall, my thoughts on the car. I still like driving my 908, maybe because my 908 is so good. My 908 is just a touch faster than my Lola. But again, I still feel like I'm missing something in the potential of this car. I'm just missing something on the tune. Maybe my Lola's not going to be as fast as my 908. Some people are saying that theirs is faster. I'm really curious to see what your Lola does. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Again, I love the car. It looks fantastic. They did a really good job. I love the chassis design. I love everything about the car. I'm just missing a little on the tuning. So, but we'll get there. Guys, if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell so you get notified anytime I put out new content. Yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. If you got your Lola, let me know in the comments. It's a great car. I need to get it a little better on my track. So, but we won't give up on it. we'll keep tuning. So, guys, thanks for tuning in this week, and go have some fun racing.